Welcome back to Exploring Whiskies. I'm Eric.
I'm Kevin, and today we're going to be doing a little Irish, but it's a different Irish.
Yeah.
So this is the Connemara Peated single malt Irish. Yeah, it's kind of just a funny little thing. So Connemara is a region in Ireland that is more of the historic Gaelic region. It's just like, all right, if you don't know anything about Ireland, right around Galway Bay, there's a whole region where they actually, like, they'll teach, and they mostly just speak Gaelic. During one of my trips up there, there was a little town called Spittle, right off the coast of Galway Bay, and we went into this little bar, and everybody was speaking Gaelic, and it was awesome. It's not a popular language, I guess, it's just not something that's kept up. So there's only a handful of regions that really focus on Gaelic. Connemara is that region. Outside of that, there's an interesting history to this distillery. So around the, 70s, early 70s, that's when a lot of the Irish distilleries all kind of started to merge together. The Jamesons and all that, they all kind of merged together under Irish distilleries, and ultimately, I think, became Middleton, which is owned by Pernod Ricard. Well, there was a few people that didn't like the fact that they just totally cornered everything to do with Irish whiskey. So, and I know we've reviewed one of his kids' whiskeys, I believe it is. So a John Teeling in the late 80s decided he didn't like that. So he decided to start his own distillery, and this is kind of where he went. He went down Connemara. Ultimately, they ended up selling off to somebody else. I don't remember who they ended up selling to, but once they sold, he went off and he's distilling a bunch of other stuff now, and his kids started Teeling, which honestly is right up there for one of my favorite Irish whiskeys is Teeling.
Yeah, so this one is the only one in Ireland that uses peated barley.
Yes. Very weird.
Yep. But it's also double distilled, not triple distilled, which is more of a Scottish distilling process.
Yeah.
So this one launched in 1999. So I guess for me, it's still somewhat newer. But
it's 21. It's a lot to drink.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
No? Well, it depends on when it started. It could be 22.
Right. But they have three. This is the original. They also have a 12-year and a cask strength. But with the peated barley, now we get into the phenols per million. So this one, it's really to gauge kind of the smokiness of a whiskey. So this one kind of falls in that 13 to 14 traditionally, but in comparison, for Islas, most of them kind of fall in that 30-ish. But
30-ish.
We have some that have been
Lefroy is
well
40-ish,
well over that,
and Ardbeg is 50-ish, and they're still the one we need to find, the Octomore.
Yes,
which is like 400 and something parts per million. That's just I'm really interested to just see what
I did not care for any of those up until recently. Now, I'm all for it.
I'm interested to try it. Yep. Now, I don't have a whole heck of a lot, so we'll have to be very, very careful on these pours. Oh, all right. We might get a little
more than
splash more. And I think we're done.
Another bottle kill.
Bottle killed.
Frees up some room.
That's right. Maybe I can go get the cask strength. Word.
We have to. We've got the cask strength and the 12-year.
Yeah.
Yeah, right out of the gate.
Smoky.
It just smells like a Scotch.
But
it's not a Scotch, though. It's Irish whiskey.
Do you smell like a fruity honey undernote?
There's a sweetness if you take a good sniff.
Yes. All right. I'm gonna confess. I bought this bottle a little bit as a joke.
Yeah.
When Conor McGregor fought Floyd Mayweather. I just wanted to buy like Irish whiskey, and I was like, oh, let's get a smoky one because nobody will like it. So I bought it as a joke. Now, that fight was 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Not really touched this all that much since that time.
Night.
But since that point, we've explored.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the whole point of this channel was exploring into other whiskeys and things like that. And I've started to really enjoy a more smoky whiskey.
Yep.
I've started to really like an Ardbeg and really like the Wee Beastie from Ardbeg. And some of the Johnny Walkers I really, really liked with a little bit of a smoky note. So I'm super excited to go back and taste this, and actually a little bummed out that the bottle's dead.
It, yeah, the flavor profile is just the Scotch.
Really? Okay.
I think so.
Very Islay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get the brininess. I get the smoke.
You get the smoke.
But a lot of Islas have that saltwater, briny, iodine.
You're going to get the on the taste, the medicinal.
Okay, but
Medicinal, briny.
this is going to sound weird. I smell like apple juice underneath it.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay, what are you going to do?
Jump in. But you get that medicinal.
Yeah, there's a little iodine.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as aggressive
No?
as Lafroy or even an Ardbeg. Ooh, and there's a funny little something towards the end.
It's peaty, but there's something else behind the peaty.
There's something behind it. I don't know what that is. That's very interesting. But let's see, what else is kind of interesting here? So, single malt. Okay. It is a mix of ages.
Yeah, well,
Four, six, and eight. And they go into a long story, but like the 4 is to add a little bit more aggressive. Like they almost say the 4 is going to be a little bit more aggressive. The 6 is going to be like a nice balance, and the 8 is supposed to kind of mellow the whole thing. And they blend them all together to create this. So technically, it's a 4-year-old whiskey, but on average, it's probably closer to 6. And it's 80 proof. And I would say it drinks pretty 80 proof.
Cost-wise, it's pretty...
It's not overly expensive, 40-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, 40-ish.
I think the couple sips I've had, I think the palate, initially, you kind of get hit with that medicinal taste. But it develops a kind of a sweeter...
There's sweet notes in there. Mm-hmm. It's peated. There's no question about that. And there's a lot of peat. I find that funny. Scotch is noted for their peated like taste in their whiskeys. Ireland's really not.
No.
Well, I've been to Ireland twice, and guess what they warm their houses with? Peat. Very odd, the fact that they don't actually dry their...
Never been to either country, but
the
shows I've watched, it seems like it's very similar countrysides.
I've never been to Scotland to say, but I'm guessing there's just not a lot. I mean, the whole point in Ireland, the reason why they use the peat bog, the moss, the bog moss, whatever it is, however you want to say it, the reason they use the peat, they don't really have a lot of trees.
It's a lot of grass.
You're not cutting down trees to heat, put in a fireplace. It's just not something that they have. But they do have the peat bogs, which is super just dense, like mossy, grassy, like ground that you can dry and then burn almost like a log, but it's going to have that smoky note.
If you would like to see it, we watched the show the other night.
Yeah, we did.
The two men in kilts.
Yeah, that's right. They actually, they cut. They were cutting the peat moss, and there is something.
Proof-wise, it's kind of your standard, though. 80.
Yeah.
It's light.
Yeah, I kind of really would be interested to see this at a cask strength.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be really interested in that. The more you sip on it, the less impact the peat moss has. There's a fruit. It's not fruity. I'm going to say honey. Yeah. There's a honey note.
I mean, I go back to the nose, and obviously initially you pick up the smoke, but there's A little sweet.
Yeah, there's a honey note in there. I wish I didn't do this as a gag, and I wish I bought this now.
Yeah.
I did this as a gag, and it was like the losers had to drink this.
It's not really losing. This is good.
It's good now.
Not 3 years ago.
For most people, that's not going to be a flavor that they really enjoy. But to me, the little bit of smoke, I'm still not going to say brine, but there's a little medicinal, but it's not briny the way that some of the Islas are.
No.
But that little sweet note underneath, it's a really nice
Band-Aid.
Yeah, it's not quite Band-Aid.
It's that initial when you open it up.
Maybe.
I enjoy this.
It's so much better than I remember it being. And that is, well, to me, that is all due to the fact that we've gone down these different paths with this show. Mm-hmm. If we weren't, trying out Lefroy or trying out Ardbegs, and at some point, Lavalugan, if that's how you say it, or the Col Ila that we had, or like all those different things that we've started to kind of just play with. I don't know if I would have enjoyed that as much. I thought it was a gag buy. Now, that's a pretty solid buy, actually.
Now you wish you would have saved it. Not as a gag. We just still have a bottle.
Yeah, exactly. Now I got to keep an eye out for the 12-year?
The 12 in the cask.
In the cask. Ooh, that cask. I'd be
so I'm curious.
So down with that.
I wonder how, from an Irish, and then Kilbeggan, which is another thing. I have a bottle.
They're owned by Kilbeggan.
Got an uncle that's a huge fan of Kilbeggan. I'm curious how popular this is over there because it doesn't fit the mold of a true Irish whiskey.
Not at all.
So
not even close.
Obviously, it's still around, so there is a market. I'm just curious how this stacks up, like from a popularity standpoint over there.
Like sales figures, I don't know. That'd be interesting. I'm not sure. I don't know the answer to that one. And the times I went to Ireland, I was not.
You weren't a whiskey drinker.
I wasn't a whiskey drinker. I was drinking a lot of Guinness. The Guinness is
better.
So much better. Like if you like Guinness in the States, the Guinness like in Ireland, especially like in Dublin, so much better. It's totally it's almost a different beer.
Sounds like our trip needs to be 2 weeks, a week in Scotland, a week in Ireland.
I've been asked or requested to make the trip London and Scotland. Okay. But I was just like, I don't know what to drink in London.
Gin.
There's not something. Yeah, London gin. Yeah, that's I guess. But I was like, there's not something I'm looking forward to drinking. Like that's just
brown ale.
Yeah, it's still
with your fish and chips. Yeah, now I'm really intrigued. I want to find the answer to my question. How
popular is that in Ireland itself versus?
Because it doesn't. To me, it doesn't.
Oh, it's nothing like Jameson, Bushmills,
or Kilbeggan. I mean, that's who.
Teeling, like that. It's nothing like any of those traditional Irish whiskeys, but it's really good.
You need to track down the other two.
Yeah, I really want to try the cask strength. That would be. I think that would be a really good find, and at a higher proof. I wonder how that would relate. Like, would more of the smoke note? I can't see the smoke notes being the stronger part. I would think the fruity notes, the honey or the, like I said,
it's going to pull more of it out of it. It's going to pull more of the flavor out of the barrel.
Yeah, I think.
Hopefully.
I don't know. Well, now I'm really perturbed.
That's for another episode.
I was in that region and didn't know about that whiskey. And wouldn't have appreciated the time that I was in that region. So live and learn, right?
Obviously, we've enjoyed this bottle.
Yes.
And this episode. So we hope you did as well. If you did, we'd encourage you to hit that like button at the bottom of the screen.
While you're down there, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon so you get notified every time we post a new show. And let us know, have you ever had any of the Connemara? What are your thoughts? Have you done a peated Irish whiskey? I like it. I'm a big fan. Let us know if you are.
So, thanks for joining. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for watching.
Cheers.
Cheers.